Welcome back to part two. This is part two. Part one, if you haven't looked at part one, please go to part one, the psychological effects of being a diabetic. So, this is part two. I want to pick it up and continue to talk about the journey that I have been sharing with everyone that uh, that is interested in my journey, and maybe, just maybe, I can help them along the way of learning some new things and investigating on the internet and doing my research. I have learned that, uh, different types of diabetic, experiencing different things. I noticed that type 1, they are much quicker to get upset faster than type 2. Um, Also, the lifespan is shorter than type 2. But it also depends on the type 2 person. If you was anything like me when I first started out, I was in denial. So I guess that's the first thing I want to elaborate, pick up about not being in denial. I was in denial for like 2.5 years. And this year I decided to get serious about my health. So please don't be in denial that long like I did, because the more that you be in denial, the more that the disease progressed. So I had started having leg problems. I couldn't hardly walk, and I had to have surgery on my legs, because I lost numbness. It started getting numb in my legs. I lost all feelings in my legs. Now it's gradually coming back, but I had to have stents put in my legs. Yes, I did. And I didn't think that stents can, be put in your legs, but I have stents in my leg now to try to bring back some kind of feelings. And so I neglected myself. I'm just transparent on here today. I really neglected myself, the lack of knowledge and being stupid, just didn't care, and like, no, I was in denial. So please don't do like I did. Um, One thing I have noticed with my journey as being a diabetic, now that I have gotten on the right track, I realize that this is very serious. And I am spiritual. I realized that God granted my life and gave me chances after chances. I wasn't on medication, and when the doctor prescribed me the metformin, which I heard a lot of scary things about that. And I noticed that particular brand, it attacks the liver first. It attacks your liver. It goes straight to the liver, and it's not a good medication. It wasn't good enough for me. It just didn't do me any justice. And when I started doing my research, you know, I didn't want anything to go straight to my liver and start eating up my liver, because one thing, we only have one liver. Then afterwards it'll start attacking the kidneys. Now we have two kidneys, but I don't want to deal with that anyway, because I want all of my organs. And so I had to start researching and finding out what medication works for me, what was best for me. So, the doctor put me on several medications, and she said, well, how did that work? And I would tell her what kind of symptoms I'm having, this and that and the other. So finally I got on a medication that really started working for me. And then I had to have once a week injection. Then I had to have a nightly injection every night, plus the medication that she put me on to take by mouth. So I was on all of this, and I was like, oh, my head, I had a lot of symptoms going on, and I just didn't feel well. And the medication, the injection started making me lose the weight. Now, here's the thing. I needed to lose the weight, okay? So I didn't want to rely on medication at all just to lose weight. Now, a lot of diabetics that I talk to, they get it twisted where, let's get on the injection, let's lose this weight and start looking fine and start looking good. It's not about that. You're going to have to learn how to manage your weight, and learn how to put the right things in your mouth, because who want to rely on injections all of their life? And then once you get balanced out and they take you off of that injection, because you cannot stay on injection, like the one that the movie stars and stuff. I can't even think of the name of it yet. But you don't want to rely on the injection just to look good. You want to, focus on your health, your total health, being healthy. So that was my goal. Okay, I had to do what I had to do, but I didn't want to be on medication. That's my choice. So I started doing the research to get off of the medication. So I finally got off the injection after my A1C went from 11 something, then it went from 9 something down to 6 point something, 6.9 or 6.4, one of them. So I'm off of the injections and been off of it for about 4 or 5 months now. My goal is to get off the medication completely. I'm talking about the medication that comes in these jars here. So my goal is to get off of it. You see these? I have this one right here, and I have this one. So I only have 2 medications that I deal with that I have to take, So that's a really good thing, because I was just on injections every night. I had to inject myself. I was on weekly injection, plus, the medication here. It was just too much. It was just a mind thing where, oh God, what have I done to myself? All of these years I have been feeding myself unhealthy food, not realizing that it was really affecting my health. I didn't realize that. I wanted the fried chicken. I wanted fried foods. I wanted the French fries. I wanted things that wasn't healthy for me. And don't mention cakes and pies and all the sweets. That's what got me here in this predicament that I'm in. So now, reversing my thinking, and my lifestyle. So now I'm on a mission to educate not only myself, but the people who are out there that's suffering and living with diabetes, So it's just like, I can't do this anymore. But now that I have been on this journey for 2 or 3 months now, it could be longer than that. It could be long. I have miscounted. But anyway, I've been on it for a while. And I ran across Dr. Yaki, who introduced me to juicing. And I'm like, what is that? I have heard about juicing. I used to juice in the past, but I was doing it the wrong way. I was juicing everything together, mixing everything up together, like the fruits and the vegetables. I was mixing it. But Dr. Yaki taught me to taste my food and, not to mix. He prefer if you don't juice the fruits. Learn how to taste your fruits. Get the best nutritional value out of your fruits by not juicing them, because you're taking away from it when you're juicing. So back in the days, I used to be on a health thing, and my weight would just go up and down, and I was all over the place. So I started juicing everything, putting the carrots in there, putting the spinach in there, just whatever, and just mixing it all together. But I don't do that these days, and the results are showing, and I feel great. So following him, I learned to juice every morning. Now, if I juice, I will juice like the celery. I would juice carrots, I would do cucumbers. And, I would do, I would add the water, or he said you can add your, like shake, your favorite protein powder or whatever in it. But I had started learning how to just take it and just experiment with it. I get this water right here. This water right here is flavored water. So it's water, and I just pour it in there with my vegetables, and it has a great taste. I even drink this, and I do regular water. I do regular water when I'm on a fast, and I forgot to bring that, but it's Mountain Valley. I have posted it on here, and I have shared Mountain Valley. So when I am on my juicing, I do not touch this. I do not touch this. I put a little bit just to sweeten it up a little bit in my vegetables. Just a little bit. I don't pour the whole thing in there. I just pour enough just to get that satisfaction of having something that can take away the blendness of it. So I do that, and I might stay on there. I think the last week I did 4 days, and then I got off and I ate me a meal. Then I got back on. But this time, the last juice that I did, I ate one salad. I do a salad between 12 and 1, and I would juice all day if I feel like doing the juice. But most of the time, the salad will fill me up and the juice will fill me up. So it wasn't no need of me constantly juicing or constantly eating the salads. I would eat the salads around noon, noonish, between 12 and 1, and so it made me fine. I was good with it. And now that my body has adjusted to a lot of things that is healthy, I have really no issues, and I don't have issues anymore being constipated. So, I used to have a lot of issues being constipated, and I'm like, I don't have those issues anymore. I can just flow and go with the flow, and I don't have the smells that when you go to the restroom and you do number two, you have a bowel movement, and when somebody normally come out the bathroom and they have detoxed or got all that toxin out of them, and it's like, whoa. So I don't have that anymore, and I'm just thankful and grateful, Then I'm stress free because I manage my stress. I manage my stress. I monitor the people and the surroundings that I'm around. I make sure to stay away from negative people, negative vibe, negative atmosphere. I don't deal with that anymore. So I have learned to surround myself with great people, good people, and a lot of meditation, and just taking good care of myself. So my mindset have changed in so many ways, and what I get these days is like negative comments. And I'm going to share with you today, excuse me, like on today, I had received a phone call, and this person was having a garage sale. And she was like, well, Vicki, I have some 16s for you. I say, no, I do not wear 16s anymore. Well, what size you wear? Oh, really? What size you wear? And I told her I wear a 10, some 12s. I say, no, I don't wear that anymore, because I used to wear 18s, to be honest. 18s, and I really could have got in a 20. But I told her, no, I don't wear 16s. They are too big. And so she didn't have nothing else to say to me, because I couldn't purchase the things that she was trying to sell me. And I tried to ask her, what else do you have in order to support her? And she just, got real short with me, and, pretty much got off the phone. So I'm experiencing things like that, how people approach me and look at me, and it's okay, I look at it, okay, well, I understand, I get it. Some people think that, oh, she done lost that weight, she thinks she's this and she thinks she's that. No, I try to educate people, but I don't pressure nobody. If they ask me, then I bring it to them. But if they never ask me, then I don't share, with people face to face what I do unless they ask me. And I don't give advice unless they ask me. So when they ask me, well, what do you think? Okay, that's opening the door for me. So you want the honest truth, or do you want me to go around the mountain or beat around the bush? And they say, well, I want the honest truth. Okay, buckle your seat, get ready for this truth right here. Because I believe it's so important to tell people the truth instead of, just going around the mountain with them. I think that was partially my problem, of people, especially that I know, family members and friends, they wasn't trying to really help me in a way, because they would just try to cover up and pacify instead of letting me know, well, Vicki, you really, really, really need to stick to this routine, and Vicki, you really looks unhealthy and you need to lose the weight. Which, of course, we know that. We already know that, but when you hear from somebody else, then it makes a difference, And so I think if you tell the truth and let someone hear it, even though we're looking in the mirror every day and we see how heavy we are, we see that we're eating unhealthy food, but we'll continue to do that. And sometimes we need to be coached and counseled and get professional help. because apparently there is a problem there. If we don't face that problem head on, then we're causing much more harm to ourselves, just like I did. I had to face the problem head on, and I realized that I had caused a lot of harm to myself in health wise, a lot of harm to myself, not eating the right foods, not exercising and walking, and just taking good care of myself. I did a lot of damage, and now trying to repair and restructure a lot of things in my life is harder, because if I started out when I first got diagnosed that I was a diabetic, I should have started out on the right road instead of being in denial about being a diabetic and doing a lot of nonsense, crazy nonsense, and just didn't care. And so now that I have obtained a lot of wisdom and knowledge up here, instead of just blowing everything off, no, I don't have that. No, I'm not going to do that. No. And so you really have to do your research and listen to your doctors, and the more that you do the research, the more that you will learn and comprehend a lot of things that probably seemed Latin to you and you just didn't understand, you just didn't know. But once you know, you'll do better, because you already know. Then stay around positive people. Stay around somebody positive. Don't go around the same people that you know that's going to pull your spirit down. That's not trying to help you along the way. You need a good support team. You need a good support team. You need someone that will help you along the way especially those days that you're struggling and you want this chip or you want this sweet candy, or you just don't want to do the right thing. You're struggling. And the last thing that I have learned about when I started my journey, I had a lot of issues, and I started getting depressed. I found myself getting depressed a lot. And that's part of the symptoms, as well as being a diabetic, which everybody gets depressed, everybody gets angry. Don't get me wrong, but it's more to it than y'all excuse this. I live in apartments, so they come down the hallways and whatever, uh, just blasting. But I learned that if I would have taken heed to the symptoms and the signs early in my life, then I would have been further down the road. But it's never too late. It's never too late to work on you, to fix you as much as you can. So don't ignore the signs, the warning signs, because the warning signs was there, I believe, a long time ago, because I used to have trouble in my legs a long time ago, with a lot of cramps, and I thought I was clumsy when I was falling, but the signs were there, and I used to have tingling and numbness, and it would come and go. That was part of the signs, but I just didn't know at the time that I was a diabetic. But that's why I believe I had it longer than what they say. So just take care of yourself, and any symptoms that you may have, any warning signs, take heed and investigate. Go to your doctor as soon as possible when you feel sluggish or you feel sensation, some kind of tingling sensation or numbness, you know, If you feel lightheaded or dizzy, or if you feel like you're going to faint, those are part of the warning signs. So just take care of yourself. I hope this helps someone. And I would love to hear back from you guys. I really do. Just don't watch the videos, Uh, give me a thumbs up, share them. And I hope I have helped someone out there. And I would love to hear from you. All right, y'all take care and have a good night. Happy Memorial Weekend. Bye-bye.